Sole Intent, written by Dennis Batchelder, narrated by Ben Tyler. Prologue, October 15th, 1946, Nuremberg, Germany. Archibald Morgan withdrew his hand from the prisoner's clammy grasp and wiped it on the sleeve of his brown robe. "The deposit is complete," he said. The prisoner, a large man, in a larger baggy uniform, licked his lips and spoke in a whisper. "Everything left was accepted, my gold and my papers." "All of it." Morgan dipped his hand into his pocket and pulled out a flimsy sheet of paper. "Your depository receipt." The prisoner took the paper and used his fingers to caress the listed items. "Sleep well, my little darlings." He handed the receipt back to Morgan. "Please destroy it. If the guards discovered it, they—" His voice trailed off. "We would not want that to happen." Morgan secreted the paper inside his robe. "Good luck, sir." "I believe my luck has, how do you Americans put it, run out." The man frowned. "Keep everything safe." His voice rose in volume. "For soon I shall return and gaze upon my own marble monument in Berlin." The white-helmeted guard banged his stick on the door. The sound bounced off the stark walls. "Enough already with that monument crap. Keep your noise down, Nazi." The prisoner bowed his head to the guard, then glanced at Morgan. "Since the verdict 2 weeks ago, they have become unbearably rude," he whispered. As the guard let Morgan out of the cell, the prisoner called out, "I won't forget this, Archibald Morgan. Upon my return I shall find and reward you for your good work." The sole identity overseer shuddered at the thought. He shuffled as fast as he dared out of Nuremberg prison cell block C and almost tripped on his robe. He climbed the 2 flights of stairs, nodded at the soldier behind the desk, and escaped into the brisk October evening. As far as Morgan was concerned, Reich Marshal Hermann Göring's promises had fallen upon deaf ears. The Nazi general should rot in hell and never return. He paused after he crossed the Platz and stepped onto the sidewalk. Spotlights mounted on the Palais de Justice walls cast an array of sinister shadows in front of him. He had done his despicable duty. He alone had understood that the journey to a better world required distasteful compromises. Maybe someday Flora would also understand. He shook his head. Enough. The journalists he had met in the Grand Hotel's bar were given 4-to-1 odds that the 11 condemned Nazis would hang before sunrise. He had finished the deposit just in time. His work was finally over. He could flee this war-torn country and return to his own battles in Sterling. Chapter 1. Present-day Kent Island, Maryland. "They exploit people who believe in reincarnation," Lester the reporter said. He glanced up at me, pen poised over his pad. "Did I get that right?" "I didn't say that, Lester." If I squinted just right, the white streaks of scalp poking through his greasy, combed-over hairdo looked like a bunch of tiny bananas. "You're putting words in my mouth," I said. Val sat next to me with her arms crossed, and her smile looked decidedly more forced than it did 10 minutes ago when this interview started. The reporter gave me an oily smile. "I'm sorry, Mr. Waverly. Maybe you could repeat what you said." "Soul identity assists people who like the concepts behind reincarnation," I said. This was my 4th rendition. He wrote that down again. "Got it. Exploits people who like the concepts behind reincarnation." "I said assists, not exploits." I pointed at him. "You put all kinds of words in my mouth last year, and it's not going to happen again. Either get it right or get out." He flashed that used car salesman smile again. "Assists, that's what I said." Val uncrossed her arms and rubbed her palms on her tanned legs just below her white shorts. "Let's just show him how it works, Scott." "You think that's wise?" I asked. She shrugged. "We've only got 20 minutes until your picnic, and Lester seems tireless in the search for dirt." She smiled at him. "No offense." He smiled back, showing off a gap between his front teeth. "None taken, Miss Nikolskaya." "Do you have a reader?" I asked her. "I always have a reader." She dug into her purse and pulled out a yellow device about half the size of a matchbox car. It had a tiny lens on one end and a big button on its side. "What's that?" Lester asked. "A camera," I said. Let Val take a picture and we'll...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.